Hey everyone, greetings to you in the name and spirit of Jesus Christ to this first Mission Center webcast. Ryan and I are here in Orange, California at our congregation in the fellowship hall where this amazing peace mural has just been recently added, and we thought it would be the perfect place to begin this kind of communication vehicle.
The idea with these webcasts is just to try to find a way that adds a new dimension to the ways we already communicate with the Mission Center. We have the e-bulletins and we do the newsletters, but this gives a kind of visual and hopefully a more entertaining way to get the information across to the Mission Center in a way that hopefully is more visually pleasing and gets you the information that you need and the information that you want. We will be doing these periodically. Maybe it's once a quarter, maybe it's 3 times a year. We're not quite sure where that will work out, but the idea is just simply that, to give you the information that we need to operate with as a Mission Center and to do it in a visually pleasing and entertaining format.
And you'll have to be the ones to tell us how entertaining it actually is.
So Aaron and Kyle Logan are pregnant, which is super exciting, and we're really happy for them. Kyle, Aaron, congratulations. But it does present a little bit of a problem because Aaron, 37 weeks pregnant, is probably not going to be able to go up to Buckhorn real easily. Doctors wouldn't like that. And Kyle's probably not going to want to leave his 1 or 2 day old baby to go to reunion. So, Terry, how are we going to work this out?
You mean aside from adding family planning to next staff retreat agenda?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we, as you probably already know, we have an internship available for 10 weeks this summer. It's a full-time paid internship for children and youth ministries. And the applications can come to us, to Ryan or myself, by April 15th, and where we expect to do interviews shortly thereafter and name our intern for this summer by the end of April.
Terry, I've already gotten some questions about this internship, and that is, are they going to be working completely alone and having to plan all the camps by themselves? Are they going to be working with Kyle and Aaron? Or, is this some sort of like a slave entity where Kyle and Aaron just get to demand whatever they want out of them?
Well, we're actually opposed to slavery in the church, Ryan, but
That's true.
no, they will work closely with Kyle and Aaron, particularly at the beginning part of the summer in preparing for planning all of the camps, the spectacular experience, because this intern will be the thread, if you will, through all activities from primary camps through reunion and spectacular, and our junior high camp this summer and junior camp. So it's a key role certainly, but they will be well supported and well connected with Kyle and Aaron throughout.
All right. Part of being in the 21st century is that our congregations and our mission centers and the world in general communicates in a much different way. One of the best tools we have as a mission center for our congregations, for our members, as well as for our visitors is our website. So we are looking at taking the 2 websites we have for Southwest International Mission Center and Southern California Mission Center and redesigning them to try to bring them much more current with the technology in the world. And as we've gone through this process, we've realized that there's a lot of shared content between the 2 mission centers. We have combined reunions, we have combined youth camps, we have a lot of combined retreats. Our calendars are the same. The Mission Center President and Mission Center Financial Officers for both Mission Centers are the same. So because of that, we've kind of taken the idea of making this 2 sites in one. So we would make one address, and as you come to the website, you would be given an opportunity to choose which Mission Center you'd like to go to, Southern California Mission Center or Southwest International Mission Center. So during this process, we're in the bid process right now. We have taken a look at 4 different entities that have gotten us quotes as well as some ideas. We're in the deciding area right now, and then soon we will be moving to getting this fully up and running. I have set a deadline for June 1st. It may be potentially July 1st that we try to get this live so that the mission centers can then realize the new technology and the new websites.
I should add that we really do not see this as a portent or as a forerunner to a potential merger. as Ryan said, we would have two distinct sites because we have two distinct jurisdictions, but with all of the commonality, it only makes sense from a financial aspect as well as functionally to see some of the benefits that we can gain by approaching it this way, because we really do want this to be a tool for our mission in the world. So now, almost 3 months on the job, how's it going as you travel around to get to know people at the two mission centers?
It's a lot of miles. It's a lot of miles and a lot of faces, but it's been good.
All right. So what are some of the things that we wanted people to keep in front of them, keep in mind that are upcoming, in addition to President Veazey's address, which is coming up on the 15th of April, along with your tax returns?
Yeah, that's right. Same. One day early, tax returns on 16th this year.
That's right.
We've got reunion.
Yeah.
We got the changes to the forms. I think people have already started filling them out, a fair amount. We don't have as many in as we did last year, so we need to try to see if we can ramp that up a little bit. They can now register online.
That's right.
There's links on both websites, or they can just send in the paper form. I emailed those out to every pastor, so everyone should have them.
And that's brand new. We can actually go online and not only fill out the application, but we can pay our pre-registration
Yeah,
fees.
and the pre-registration this year is $25 per person. And that's refundable up to, I think it's like a month before that we kind of shut down at that point it'll be non-refundable. And that's just, last year we kind of got dinged with Buckhorn, thinking we were going to have 250 people, and then like 170 showed up the first day, and we had to eat $80 worth of food. So
so it's
food
preparation really that's at stake there. Okay, all right. And then, we've got this great workshop coming up that actually is being advertised on the World Church website as one of the workshops around the U.S. for the introduction of our new hymnal, which is slated for October of 2013. It's a Joyful Noise workshop that we're planning right now for the Upland congregation, but as you were mentioning, if we get a good response from even outside of our area, because we know people from Arizona might be coming, that the Upland congregation might not even be big enough. So we've put in registration I think it's by May 20th. We want to know if you're coming. It's a free event. We're going to serve lunch that's free, the free will offering. But we need to know how many are coming so that we make sure we have enough space for everyone.
Yeah. Now this is kind of a long event though. It's like 9 to 4.
It is 9:30 to 4.
Some people kind of wondered like what all is taking place during that. I think we should maybe
Sure. Well, we have, and we'll send out more information, of course. But we've got two of the key people on the new hymnal team: Jane Gardner, who's a longtime worship expert in the church, and the current president of the High Priest Quorum, and then Lauren Hall, who is the coordinator for the whole project. And they're wonderful ministers and presenters, and so they're going to be sharing both some of the theology around our hymnal selection, the use of those pieces in worship, and also I think helping us just understand how we can best utilize this new resource in the life of the church.
Well, I'll tell you, if we can get close to 200 people, that's just going to be dynamite to sit and listen to. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. June 2nd is definitely a date people want to have on their calendar for that Joyful Noise workshop.
Then we got Priesthood and Leaders Retreat coming up.
That's coming up in October, still a little ways off, but important to keep in front of us.
12th and 13th. And this is something that, most of our pastors, it's just kind of really important that there's some great information that's going to get there. This would be a really important conference for most of our pastors to get to, and I think they'd get a lot out of it.
That's right. We had designed that so it gives them resources, tools that they can use, as well as the whole priesthood, really, and all congregational leaders.
So it'll be good to encourage like all of our priesthood and pastors, put on your calendar now. Let's try to get as many people there as we can. It's going to be a lot of good information.
That's right. So lots of good stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Clearly on the horizon for us is next year's USA National Conference. As most of you know, national conferences will actually begin this summer when Australia and Canada will hold theirs. But as we prepare for the national conference here in the U.S., there's a pivotal resource that's been prepared by the apostles who serve in the United States fields. It's a DVD that explores the role of Scripture in discovering God's will. And so as we prepare for the conference with the pivotal question of whether we will include in a full way gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered persons in the life of the church, we want to prepare appropriately. We want to prepare with great discipline and devotion to that task. And so participating in this resource, which is intended for a group to share, to be done in community, so that all voices may be heard, all perspectives can be affirmed as we approach that decision. And so we expect that in the October Priesthood and Leaders Workshop that we'll offer that Scripture DVD resource because it's intended for a facilitated environment. And that then following the Mission Center conferences, we'll schedule one day in each Mission Center. It'll be a Saturday early in 2013 when everyone will have the opportunity to come together and share in that experience. We do expect that each person who is willing to serve as a delegate to that USA conference would avail themselves of this opportunity for preparation.
Now, remember, at this coming fall's Mission Center conferences, we will be electing not one, but 2 sets of delegates. That's going to be one set for the World Conference and one set for the USA National Conference. Now, you may serve on both conferences. You may choose just to serve on one or the other. And just because you put your name in for both does not mean you will get necessarily elected for both. That is up to the body that will be voting. So we look forward to those nominations coming in. We have submitted a grant proposal for La Nueva Esperanza to the Western field of the Community of Christ. That is the Western United States. And that grant proposal is for the La Nueva Esperanza congregation to continue and improve their Young Peacemakers Club, which has been a long-standing entity in South Central Los Angeles, and as well as a neighborhood beautification project around La Nueva Esperanza. We should be hearing about that sometime in May as to whether we got approval for that grant. So one of the things we really want to do with this is to have questions. People can call in with their questions on a regular basis, and like if you need help with your math homework, you can send that question in. I can answer that for you. Terry would answer all the deep theological questions.
Well, send those to Ryan too.
Okay. But we'd like you to send us an email or give us a phone call with anything that you might have. So hey,
you got a call.
I do. It's a great ringtone. All right. Hello? Oh, okay. So this is Dick Cordova from El Cajon. Hi, Dick. How are you doing? Yeah. Dick, okay. I will answer that. Good question, Dick. So Dick wants to know what all these keys are that I'm holding, and you're right. Basically his question was, can you put them down?
Okay.
So I'll do that for Dick. This is actually the keys to every church building in both mission centers.
Nice.
I carry this around, and it does not fit in my pocket very well at all.
Actually, seriously, Dick didn't call us, but we hope he's watching.
Yeah.
One of the questions that we have gotten from time to time that we thought we might kick off with this first inaugural version of the webcast is how a congregation would be closed. Maybe there's been some concern about that. I don't know, but perhaps we can dispel some myths and clear up any confusion that there might be. In the case of a congregation closing, fundamentally, let's look at it this way. A congregation to exist must have 2 basic characteristics. Number one, they have to have their own leadership. A pastor elected by the congregation, a financial officer, a congregational financial officer, which is appointed by you, Ryan, and then sustained by the congregation, in a business meeting where there has to be at least 6 people present in order to transact the business of the congregation. So that's one thing, leadership. And then secondly, they need to meet regularly for worship. Those are essentially the 2 criteria for being a congregation. If one of those or both of those somehow go away, then we have a situation where the congregation may not be able to continue in existence and be disorganized. Usually the congregation is going to decide that for themselves, and they'll vote in the appropriate way with the Robert's Rules of Orders and the provisions that we have for making that decision.
In a
to
congregational
close.
business meeting.
Correct, that's right. But it is, the authority rests only with the apostle in charge of that field to either open or close a congregation. And our apostle is not going to close any congregation without that kind of thing happening first, and then in consultation with you and me. So hopefully that clears up any confusion that there might be. Maybe there wasn't any, but that's how it would work in the case of a congregation having to close.
Good to know. So we do want to hear your questions, and so if you have anything that you would like us to discuss or really pressing questions that you want to for us to talk about, please go ahead and send those. You can send them to either Terry's email address or mine. Those are right here or right here, and we will be sure to try to do our best to get those on the next webcast.
So we will see you next time on this webcast, maybe right here in front of this wonderful mural, or hopefully we'll see you even sooner face to face.